Hey, hey. Hello, hello. Welcome back, guys. All right, let's jump on in. We're going to do a quick peek at how they see things. All right. This is tended to be kind of like touching on a topic of love, but we might also make it fairly specific. We'll see. We have a Five of Wands. They see it as, oh boy, a kind of a house party that's gone awry. They see it as too many people involved. Maybe they are feeling kind of exposed. They're feeling like there's been a lot of conversation. Hey, Addison, great to see you. But they see it as a situation that has way too many people involved. Things got a little reckless, a little out of hand. This feels like there's been conflict, there's been drama. So they see it as almost like they wish that there weren't so many people putting in their 2 cents. Maybe they feel like our lead character has, told their family about what was going on, told their friends. Here we actually have a police person in police garb, but they have a skeleton head, so it's like a retired police officer person. It seems still like family members, and it's like, man, I wish you hadn't told every family member you have every time that we have an argument or something, because then everybody's got to weigh in. And we got a couple people riding backwards on a weasel up here across the sky. What I'm going to say, and forgive me, like I said, this might be kind of specific, but it feels like they feel like the more people put in their 2 cents on someone else's business, the more likely there's going to be opinions coming from people that you don't want to hear from, other people that are troublemakers and have totally different opinions on stuff, that don't really have good sound advice. There's too many people in the mix. So how they see things is this has gotten way more complicated than it needed to be. Hey, everybody. We got the Princess of Wands upright. Princess of Wands upright is the energy of they still want this. Despite all of the drama, despite all the extended family or friends or everybody getting involved, they still want this. Still have an interest in this. Every time they see, I'm going to say that every time they see her, they feel the exact same way, like fireworks. Like, God, she's so pretty, beautiful. She's so attractive. I'm still so drawn to her. But this thing is a mess. This thing is a mess. But they especially like her in that tube top or that, summertime bikini or whatever that is. We got the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. At the same time, even if they still have an interest, it doesn't look like they are putting in any effort to smooth things out. So I'm wondering if they're thinking, I need to step back. This thing got a little out of hand. Maybe there was some ruckus. Maybe there was some family event. Maybe there was nothing spells disaster more than family reunions, right? One comment or one couple that's being irritated with each other, and then pretty soon, Uncle Jerry, who had a few too many, beers, all of a sudden starts standing up and yelling down at people and telling them off. And, I'm picturing that a small thing blew into epic proportions. And although they still want this, they're letting things lay low. I feel like we have a story of somebody who is not moving toward fixing this relationship yet or anything, because it's like there's a lot to unpack here. There's been a lot of drama. And although they still want this, Two of Pentacles. I mean, this does look like somebody who's still, they're sitting out here on the range. They kind of went off planet for a little bit, and they're weighing things in their mind. Two of Coins is like, okay, it's not, do I want this? Do I not? We know they still want this. It's that this person probably has kind of decent instincts where, what do you do when anything gets too hot? You let it cool down. What do you do if you are making pudding on the stovetop and it's bubbling? You let it sit and cool down a little bit, maybe before you even transfer it to, your glass baking dish and stick it in the fridge to cool down. Maybe you just let things start to cool before you address them again. So that's where I feel like this person has kind of out here, they look like a kind of like a cowboy. They seem like somebody who pulls their energy back sometimes and tries to kind of, I don't know, they may have that slow talking, slow rolling, slow moving kind of energy where it's like, well, if you're going to settle down. A horse is bucking a lot, you kind of just give the animal some space a little bit. I feel like they're wondering what the best route is to take to reapproach, but it's not that they're not going to approach, is that they're letting the hot stove cool down before they reach out and touch it again. Yeah, they still want this. They still want this relationship. They still want the entire thing, but don't immediately come in to talk. Don't immediately come back in. So this could be like a 2-day silent period. It's not to ghost. It's not to be rude. It's to think about, how do I approach? 5 of coins. And in fact, they may, I don't know, somebody might be taking a little trip crossing the border to Mexico, or they feel like lines have been crossed and that something hurt them. I will say that in this storyline, they got hurt. They got a little bit burned specifically also. I don't think that there's somebody who sulks and sits in a lot of pain. I just think that they know when something has been, upsetting, and they do know when it's like, okay, some stuff went a little too far, some boundaries got crossed, and now we're going to have to go back across that border again. They're missing her in this like couple days of silence or something. They're missing her. Maybe it's a couple months. I don't know, but they're missing her. It feels like they're gone though. This being off planet, or the idea of like, this border crossing. Heck, they could have just crossed state lines. They could have crossed, lines just across the river. And maybe this is like a ferry toll booth that we're seeing. But it does feel like they're away. And they're actually sad to be away, but they're still trying to figure out how to turn back around. Okay, phone call. Their next best bet is, I think we should talk on the phone. I think that having a lighter conversation, I think they want to hear her voice and hear, does it sound like she still cares about me? Does it sound like she still loves me? What's the pitch of her voice like? I think that they have real fond memories of the sound of her voice. If these two have done any talking on the phone at all, it's like, those are really good vibes. I think he wants to kind of, I'm not going to say test the waters. I don't think get a fearful person. I feel like he's trying to figure out how to approach to create peace without pushing too fast, without resolving things like, okay, it's on my timeline. We're going to work this out, blah, blah, blah. He's not a pushy kind. Whoever this person is, they behave much more like a cowboy. Much more like maybe a little slower to speak their words. Maybe their mind turns stuff over. I'm picturing this is a very specific type of person. This is the kind of person who you might mistake them as someone that doesn't take action when that's not true. It's that they think about the entire thing. Okay, let me use this as an example. Because I just did this the other day. I was putting something together, and I have said before, I am famous for not reading through all the directions first, but just kind of like getting started. And so sure enough, I was like, hey, wait a second, something's not clicking here. There's something missing. And yes, it's because if I had just read the directions properly once through, I would have seen that hidden under a little flap, there was one more spot for one little screw. And I was like, I cannot figure out where this screw is supposed to go. I know it's got to go here, but I don't see where the hole is. Well, I didn't realize it was hidden under a flap. That's foolish. I wasted time because I didn't just read the instructions. This is the kind of person who reads the instructions first. They might also sit and think it out, and they might, after have read the instructions, they might still digest it and reconsider and say, I could do it faster if I did this part and then that part, but put it all together. And they probably don't ever put stuff on backwards and have to undo it. The kind of person who they may operate with what looks like a little bit slower, but better than someone like me who jumps in and looks like they're in a flurry of getting stuff done, but sometimes I do it wrong. I feel like this is probably a more patient character, but also I feel like he wants to get it right. So the way he's looking at things in this storyline is, let me take the time to get it right. It's not because he wants to stay away. It's because he's chewing on stuff. But the first step in his mind is, I want to talk to her again. Like, he's obviously missing her. There's no matter what, no matter how rocky things have been lately, he still wants to be with her. We know that. But some stuff definitely got a little bit out of hand. There was some fight, some argument, some, kerfuffle that occurred. And now we're in the awkward phase of how do we regroup from this? Well, in this storyline, how they see it is they see her as somebody really loving, really wonderful, but also somebody who's going to want to talk about all this and going to want to pick his brain apart. And she probably has more to say. She's better with dialogue than he is. He also maybe needed to pause, and forgive me for saying it this way, but maybe he even needed to get his own thoughts sorted before he listens to her talk a bunch. And it's not that it's like, oh God, why didn't she just shut up? Why does she have to talk so much? It's more that I think he processes slower. He processes differently, but he already knows that he's going to want to connect and communicate with her and listen to what she has to say. He wants to talk to her. He likes her voice. He likes to hear what she has to say. She's intelligent. He respects her, but he also knows that there's going to be big dialogue, and he does want to prepare because he has some stuff to say too about all this. You know, if this situation, which he still very much wants to be in, I mean, very, very much wants to be in, but he's got some things to say about this too. 5 of Swords. The big thing here is he may want to say something that kind of defends himself a little bit. This isn't him wanting to fight. This is him maybe even wanting to address. That's one thing I don't want. I don't want to be in a position where it's this mess again. And now I got to fight and defend, myself against drunken Uncle Jerry. Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying that. I don't have an Uncle Jerry. Forgive me, the name Jerry does not mean drunk in my mind. It was just one of those random things that you pull out of the air for a character. 7 of Coins and 6 of Cups. Yeah, he definitely wants to be able to speak his piece as well. He doesn't want it to be conflict, but he wants to talk about the conflict. And even here, once again, we go and let's sleep it off and let's get us back on track. 6 of Cups. But I feel like this, whatever this problem was that these two faced, it got way out of hand because too many other people were around, and that all needed to be simmered down. Something, I mean, heck, it could have been like they didn't have the problem, but they were at an event that got a little bit out of hand, and it's like, wow, that's not really my scene. I don't really want to be in the midst of, big drama. I really don't think he does a lot of drama. I don't think she does either. She comes across as a queen twice in his mind. She's a queen 2 times. So he has the utmost respect for her. But he has his opinions too, and he's going to make those known. You know what? I don't think she would respect him if he didn't operate where he shows a backbone also. He certainly knows she has a backbone. There's nothing disrespectful in the way he looks at her whatsoever. But he also is not the kind to get steamrolled. He just operates a little differently than she does. But these two have to talk it out. And I think definitely, let's sleep on it. Let's get through the awkwardness. Let's have a good conversation. And then let's get back into each other's arms. I kind of think he wants stuff for himself pre-thought before he has much conversation with her. Then he wants to speak his piece, listen to her, speak her piece, and then let's get back on track. And I do feel with the 7 of Pentacles that these two need to make a plan moving forward on how they're going to handle stresses, how they're going to handle upheaval. Obviously, he wants this relationship. Ace of Coins. He wants a new beginning, but he wants it better and stronger than before. I love the fact that he's seeing, he's seeing let's get this situation to be a better than before situation, because now we've weathered a storm. We've learned something about how we both operate. We've figured out, how to think things through. We figured out, where some comfort zones are. It really feels like this could be 2 people, at least in his mind, we could be better than we were before because we've just gone through something. We've invested a little bit more. We figured out how to get through a problem. That could be really, really great. Somebody really likes pancakes too. Somebody loves Sunday morning pancakes. Somebody's quite romantic. Somebody might make breakfast in bed or something, because we've got this big old heart back here as well. And I don't know if there's a favorite restaurant or something, or if somebody actually has a really fancy house. This looks very palatial to me. I don't know. It almost feels like replacing the stress with like a romantic getaway to kind of reconnect again. Sorry, my phone is blowing up tonight. Let me get one last card and then I'm going to bounce on out of here. I'll be back late tonight after this. But we have the Hermit. I definitely feel like let's get away. Normally the Hermit is somebody who's on that silent journey by themselves. I don't see that as silent journey alone. I see that as, hey, let's you and me run away. Someplace, it definitely feels like a romantic getaway. Definitely, when these are the last three cards that we had. Well, I guess we should include the Seven of Pentacles. This is like, let's make a plan, you and me, to go someplace, just the two of us. Maybe Bryce Canyon, maybe someplace into the desert, someplace that it can be very romantic and sky watching and just a wonderful time to kind of like reconnect us. Honestly, I gotta say, I love it. I love the fact that this feels like somebody who the most important thing is their relationship. It isn't the external drama, but when there is external drama, it brings up questions that have to be dealt with for a couple. And this is all about how they handle it without turning it into a blow up between the two of them, so that the thing that is safe and salvaged and protected is the relationship. So actually really nice. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you so much, everyone. Yes, my phone rang twice during this. All right, you guys, lots of love. So good to see you all. Butterfly Catnip Queen and Addison, it's so good to catch you. Carl, hi. I don't know what the comment is, Miss So the Observer. Here we go. Sai, are you having a bad day or are you not happy to be here, hun? If you're having a bad day, I hope it gets a lot better. Indigo Moon X, hi. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Nick. Jessica Rios. Samanita. Well, it wasn't a long lost video. It was just waiting for you to reach out to me, hun. It's been there the whole time. Hi, Annette. Nani. Dragon Fortnite. Carol. Hi, Lori. Thank you guys so much. Oh, Lori, that's amazing. Travis Rhodes. Thank you so much, Miss of the Observer. AC, hi. Hi, Kristen. Nikki O, Voyager 2. Lisbeth, hey, hey. All right, everybody. Have a great evening. Miss So the Observer, I hope that everything gets lighter and brighter, hun. All right. Nikki O, it's my pleasure. Great to catch you. I'll see you guys again later. Bye.